Welcome to Angry Appliance Repair Person. For the record, you're looking at him. So, this presentation is going to be a comparison of a full-size appliance and what we refer to as an apartment-size appliance. Now, a lot of people have asked me, when they live in an apartment or condominium, what is the differences? What am I losing? What am I gaining if I get an apartment-size appliance because I don't have the space to fit a full size? Now, refrigerators, ranges, dishwashers, most of the time those appliances are the same. They're just smaller. The only real problem I have from a consumer standpoint with those is people think they can fit a lot of stuff into a small refrigerator. So the refrigerator is real small and it slides under the counter because that's the only place you have. And you stuff it full of food and you expect it to stay cool. All refrigerators have airflow. You must have some space in there for the air to flow. So when you stuff it full, a lot of times not everything will stay cold. That is the one and really only difference. Apartment-sized refrigerators, apartment-sized ranges, apartment-sized dishwashers, they still all work on the same principle. The difference is that when you have those appliances, they're smaller, so you must use them in a smaller capacity. Can't put as much in the fridge, cannot make a big turkey in a small little range. You can't always fill the dishwasher up completely. You have to leave some space. Full-size appliances, normally they have little things in there that you might not know about to make sure you can't overfill it. But a lot of apartment-sized stuff doesn't have that. And people, they want to put that one more dish in that apartment-sized dishwasher and think it'll still work. But then they block the water and then it doesn't work. Laundry is different. Washers and dryers, there are some differences between apartment size and full size. Obviously, capacity is number one. You can fit more in here than you can in here. That's true. But some couple of things that people don't realize. Some apartment size units for laundry, a lot of apartments don't have 220 hookup for a dryer. So companies will make a washer and a dryer in one piece. So you look at it as a consumer and think, oh, this is great. I can wash my clothes and dry my clothes in one item. I don't need to have two because I don't have the space. Well, here's the problem. That one item, you're plugging into a 110 volt regular house outlet. Dryers, it'll still dry, but it's going to take an awful long time. Your regular full-size electric dryer is 220 volts. The reason is very simple. A very powerful heating element. The heating element is the only thing that takes 220 in a dryer. Everything else is basically 110 volts for the most part. There are some exceptions, but in this conversation, for the most part, the heating element is what needs that 220. In an apartment size one, when you have a combination washer and dryer, two appliances in one item, it's only 110 volts. So you take those three towels, which fit in the washing machine, and they wash and they drain and they spin and everything seems okay. And then you switch the little dial to the dryer section, you put them back in, and then you dry it. It is going to take a long time for those towels, to be completely dry in a 110 volt unit, not 220. So even though you don't have a choice, that's one of these things where it's better than nothing, fine. But I do have a lot of issues with the washer-dryer combination ones. They do need more maintenance. There's certain things in there that need to be cleaned out more frequently than your regular full-size dryer does. Lint can get into places that it doesn't belong, and then it has to be taken apart and cleaned, which means it's not something a consumer can really do. But other than the power thing, when you roll that apartment-sized dishwasher over to your sink and run it to your sink and hook up those hoses and it works, it works. Or if you roll that apartment-sized washer up to your sink and hook it up, there isn't much difference, just capacity. Make sure you understand that you cannot stuff it full because it's smaller and you want to do the same size load as you would do in a big appliance. But what's that smartest man in the house? Well, yes, I realize, smartest man in the house, that sounds logical, but you're talking to a serviceman. And the serviceman, as I am, I go out there and I ask them how much laundry did they put in, and they show me this huge pile of laundry that they stuff into this little machine because they don't realize, they don't put it together. Oh, I used to be able to do that in my house when I had a house and I had a big machine. I'm not changing my laundry size, but yet you have to change it because it's smaller. So smartest man in the house, I'm not trying to say people are stupid. I'm just trying to say that they don't think of it. That it's just not something that dawns on them, that they can't do the same load size as they have done in the past. You have to leave space for that wash to move, as I have stated in other presentations. So, full size to apartment size, there isn't that much of a difference except if you have an apartment size dryer. If you have a 110 volt apartment size dryer, it's going to get things dry. It's just going to take a long time to do it. Keep that in mind if you need to buy smaller units, especially laundry, because you don't have the space. The senile thought each week is going to be about repetitive service visits. You have a customer very upset that this technician is coming out for the third time to work on their, let's pick on the dryer, to work on their dryer, and it's still not fixed. He says it's fixed, he leaves, you use it once, it doesn't work, he has to come back. 3 times passes by and you're thinking, does this guy actually know what he's doing? How many trips do I let this person into my house to fix my dryer before I just kick him out? I can't tell you how many times, me being fairly well known in the area that I cover, I go to the gas station and I'm pumping gas into my work truck, and someone comes up to me and goes, hey, you fix appliances. I've had this guy out at my house fixing my dryer 3 times, it's still not fixed. When do you finally kick that person out of your house? When is it finally over? And that's always a tough one. You have money invested with this person because you've already paid him. And he wants to keep collecting money and keep getting it from you. My philosophy has always been this. Very rarely does an appliance fail that needs multiple parts. It happens, but rare. When you come out and the appliance man says you need a part, and that part is put into your unit, and it doesn't fix it, you could almost say, well, guess what? I was wrong. You almost never hear an appliance man say that because that costs money. It costs money. When that appliance man says that I was wrong, it wasn't this part, it has this part. The only advice that I can give you in this situation, and it's tricky, I admit that, when it gets to that point, you can always call the manufacturer for assistance. They know this happens. Companies usually like to help their clients that buy their appliances. You might be able to get some satisfaction from the manufacturer who made the appliance. That is a possibility. But a lot of times, the only recourse you have is to basically not call that person again, call someone else to come out who hopefully knows what they're doing. And we have gone over that many times on how to find someone. I won't repeat that now. But I don't like seeing somebody coming out there more than 3 times to fix the same problem. That's not good. That means that that particular person is guessing, that particular person is throwing parts at it, that particular person is not understanding exactly what's going on. Whether it is that person doesn't know or he doesn't care to know, whichever it is, I think that 3 times is the limit. After that, I think you have to consider taking your business elsewhere, possibly calling the manufacturer for assistance. But it is possible, though rare, that you can put a part in an appliance and then another part fails because of it. It does happen. But in over 30 years of me doing this for a living, it hasn't happened to me very often, but it does happen. I like that 3-time rule. If it's more than 3 times, I think it's time to find somebody else. But you might want to give that person up to 3 times to be able to try to figure out what's going on, get that appliance serviced, and then move on with your life. Keep that in mind. And, as always, we thank you for spending some of your day with us.